What's up, guys? Oh man, we are here with another reaction video to the Solo: A Star Wars Story Crew TV spot. I was gonna do this a couple weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I think there's like 2 or 3 of these, but I just ended up forgetting about it. They so much noise going on with the Avengers: Infinity War, and I just kind of got sidetracked, I guess. But we are going to do this, and then we're going to have a brief discussion afterwards. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this because I'm going to start talking, and then I'm going to have like a hour-and-a-half video. Okay. Very short. Solo.
3,
Whoa.
2, now! So what's your name anyway?
Hey, kid, there's a big shot gangster. He's putting together a crew.
Nice.
You think everything sounds like a bad idea.
If you come with me, you're in this life for good.
I waited a long time for a shot like this.
I love the how they're like remixing
this.
Very short, man. Very cool. Okay. Let's talk about Solo. Han Solo. A lot of controversy surrounding this film. A lot of it. Probably the most controversy that I don't know. I mean, Last Jedi was... I guess after it released, it was pretty bad, but leading up to The Last Jedi, I think everybody was excited. This, though, this is bad. This is really bad. Fans are just upset, and I want to talk about how I feel. I personally am excited for this film. I don't think there's anything wrong with this film. I understand everybody's argument. I understand everybody's point. I understand everybody saying that we don't need this film. We don't need it. There's no reason. We don't need to know the backstory. It's okay. All right. I see your point. But if we're going to do that, then it'd be safe to say that we don't need any Star Wars film after the very first Star Wars film, because fans have been divided since the second film released in the original trilogy. Because after that, there were people that were like, well, why didn't this happen? Why didn't that happen? And they were upset. So, the very first Star Wars film, everybody loved it, and the world was just set on fire. It was like a bomb just went off, and it was this big thing that everybody enjoyed, and they loved it, and man, it was incredible. I wish I could have been there back in '77. I was not. I did not see my first Star Wars film until 1993. So I waited over 20 years to see these characters come back. And they came back in Force Awakens, and I was disappointed. I was disappointed because it felt so fresh and new to me, and I didn't want to see these characters go anywhere. I love them. And to me, the fire hasn't gone out. I like new characters, and I like the fact that they are wanting to do new things and go into new galaxies, all that kind of stuff. But to me, it's like taking a perfectly good engine out of a car and replacing it for no reason at all, other than just to replace it. And I do not appreciate the way Rian Johnson handled the Skywalker legacy. I feel like that was like a low blow. I feel like it was lazy writing. He could have done more if he was such a talent like Lucasfilm and Disney had said he was, and I don't feel like he nailed it. It was the very first movie that I've ever watched where I didn't know anything. It was so it felt like just a big mess thrown into this so-called 2 hour and whatever minute film it was, definitely the longest one out of all the Star Wars films, and then just slapped with a Star Wars sticker, a Star Wars label. And I just feel, if this is the way that they're going to go, and if this is what they're going to do, then what was the point of ever buying Star Wars? Why didn't they just create their own thing and go and do, like, I feel like they're using Star Wars as a platform for all their crazy and weird ideas. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's just the way that I felt in The Last Jedi. Everything was just weird and stupid and badly put together. There was not a nice even flow with anything. It was so much jumping around, and that's fine. You can do that in a film. Many directors are good at that. My favorite, Quentin Tarantino, I mean, he jumps around more than any probably director, but it's so beautiful and it has such a nice flow and it makes sense. Sometimes you get a little confused, but he puts it all together in the end, and you have that beautiful culmination of scenes and storylines, and it comes together. And that did not happen with The Last Jedi. I mean, I really wish they would have brought in a different director, and I'm very sad that it's going to go with Rian Johnson for the next 3 films in the new trilogy. I am looking forward to JJ coming back on for Episode 9. I think that's going to be fantastic. I feel like Force Awakens was great, but the end was crap. Obviously, we didn't want to see Han Solo die, but, some of those things you can't control. I don't have an issue with Lucasfilm and Disney wanting to go a new direction. That's not what I have an issue with, and I understand that, these characters are old. You can't keep characters for every single film, and I get that, but I didn't want to see their legacy destroyed just to make people say, you know what, who cares about them? Rey is the best. Poe and Finn are the best. I just don't look at it that way. It's like, okay, when Chewie kicks in the hut door or throws something at it and basically comes up to Skywalker and he's like, hey man, get your shit together. And he's like, where's Han? What happened to Han? Where was the morning scene? Where was the scene where, they had tears and, that was his buddy, man. That was his boy for years. There was nothing. Where was Han Solo's funeral scene? We didn't even get that. I mean, what is going on? Now, if they're doing it because they want us to think that, well, you know what, guys, maybe they're not dead, I think that's bullshit, because I don't think Han's coming back. Now, if he does, it might be like a Force ghost or whatever, but I think that would be it. And even if that happens, it'd probably be just like the Yoda and Skywalker scene on Octo 2. It's going to be, a little short scene. Still, should have been a funeral. I feel like they don't care enough to even pay the respects, and I think it's bullshit, because Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm going to put a link in the description box for this so you can go check this out. Don't take my word for it. But when she had that interview and sat down with George Lucas and they talked about the legacy of Star Wars, and she said, I love Star Wars. She's been in with George for decades. The one thing that I want to make clear, and I'm quoting, is that I'm not going to destroy the Skywalker legacy. I want to take care of these characters and to make sure that they are respected and yada yada, all this stuff, right? She loves it, she cares about them, and nothing is going to happen to them. And now look what they did. She said, okay, Rian Johnson, you can go ahead and rip apart everything that you want to do. And that's what they did. They made Skywalker a coward, and he's not. It's like, you're going to seriously tell me that because he had a Padawan learner go rogue for whatever reason, and then he just gives up because something like that happened, but he had the guts to go against Darth Vader, to literally risk everything, risk his training, risk everything he knows, just to go and defend his friends and to take on the baddest man to ever fly through the galaxy to ever exist, and he's just going to give up because one of his learners goes crazy on him. Just doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. When you put up all the other films together and you look at the story and the legacy, it does not make any sense. It's almost like, he became an alcoholic and just got all whacked out of his brain, and as far as I could see, he wasn't drinking. And then the whole death thing. That didn't make any sense. Sorry, Lucasfilm. Sorry, Rian Johnson. Didn't make any sense. Because if you look at the timeline, he's really not that old. Like, he's been living on an island for, 30 years? Eating fish, drinking some weird juice, milk stuff out of some weird thing. I'm sorry, but I don't see him smoking or sitting there hitting up the McDonald's drive-thru on the island. Why would he just all of a sudden die? You have people in the Star Wars universe that live to be over 1,000 years old, and you're going to kill him off when he's like climbing mountains every day, walking uphill? That guy would be in incredible shape. Once again, doesn't make any sense. But we're going to get out of here soon. I'm going to start making sure I keep these rants at the end of the videos because I hate to bore people with them. But it just upsets me. But I really want people to give Solo a chance because, the good thing about these kind of films is they can't really destroy anything. I understand people are upset with the Alden character, or the guy playing Solo. I think he looks fantastic. I think he looks great. And if you think that he really don't look like Solo, I want to tell you something. What is there, like an 8-year difference between them? Go to your family photo albums, try to find some pictures that are like a 10-year difference, and look at how much changes. I recommend you do that. Or even go look at one of your favorite actors and then go back like from a movie that they made like 10 years prior and look at how much their looks have changed. I just recommend you do that. And I think that you'll kind of see, okay, this could work. The only problem that I have with it is the voice. Because to me it's not deep enough quite, And I feel like the voice would have already matured to that point at the age that he's at. I think it's 27, I want to say, 26. But then again, you never know. Maybe he started smoking for, a couple of years. Who knows? But that's the only issue that I have with it. Just the voice. But they could change that. And so far in the trailers, the very first one, that Super Bowl ad, and he's talking, he kind of has that raspy deepness at the very beginning. He's like, I want to be a pilot, and he talks real deep. That sounded like Solo. Then the official trailer's released, and then it sounds like a kid. It doesn't sound like that anymore. So I don't know. Maybe they're toying with us a little bit. I don't know. But I'm sorry for talking so much about this. It upsets me. I want fans to come together, and I want fans to be happy. I hate seeing a divide with Star Wars, man, because that's what's going to wreck it. It's like people love this stuff, man. The Star Wars fan base is the greatest fan base in the entire world. We are loyal. We are great. We come from all walks of life, all parts of the world. And it's one thing that we can all agree on. We can all just love and cherish it. And I don't want to see it get destroyed because some stupid director wants to have a weird social experiment with a Star Wars platform. And I think that people that are going to come in to try to do that need to get the hell going, because we've never had that problem in Star Wars before. I understand the prequels were weird and things were different, but they weren't that bad. I thought they were good. And it wasn't destroying any legacy of a character either. It was a whole new thing. It was going way back before any the Solo and Skywalker and all that. But it bums me out. I want people to be excited, and I think also this is a movie that we can all go into and just enjoy it. I think it's going to be fun.